Live but recorded, it's Line Locked, episode number 9, where we talk about everything racing and a lot of bullshit.
Tons of it.
Hey. Lots of it.
I like it.
Okay.
I'm here. Are you here?
We can wait till music ends, man. Yes,
Should I?
I'm here.
Okay.
No, we're good. We're good, man.
Right.
What's going on today?
I feel like we got 10 listeners. I've got a lot of mail to send out this week.
Oh, yes.
And anybody that missed out, I apologize, but I gave you a deadline, and you ain't getting a Christmas ornament. So I got a big stack of them going out. They'll be going out at the end of this coming week, which would be the first week of December, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
maybe we may have some Easter ornaments or something later on in April or May.
Yeah, maybe we'll do something seasonal.
Seasonal, yeah, that's right.
That'd be cool.
All right.
All right. One quick up front is if you're offended easily.
Are you?
I don't know. If you are, this may not be for you. Okay. We
just
may say
this
stuff.
episode or
Well, all episodes. We
All
just
right.
need to continue that. If you're offended easily, just don't. It's okay. But we might be offensive. I don't know.
Offensive, yes, that's a good word.
Possible. All right. Going forward, we also want to apologize for the last episode. Not apologize. It had to be a canned episode because
Yeah, real quick one.
yeah, Chris had to go out of town. Where'd you go?
Went to Charleston, so I thought
South Carolina.
Yes, that's South Carolina.
I believe it's South Carolina.
I drove 10 hours somewhere, so
Yeah,
it was.
I think it takes 8 to get to North Carolina.
So it was South Carolina, yes. Man, if you've never been there, it is a very historic town. I mean, very historic. A
Yeah.
lot of stuff went down
like
there.
Civil War stuff.
Civil War stuff. A lot of the. Well, a lot of the slavery stuff happened.
Really?
down there. Yeah, and there's a lot of religious buildings down there. There's actually this one room that they had in the basement. They had built a false wall,
Yeah.
and they put all their gunpowder behind this wall so the Brits wouldn't find it.
Yeah.
And they didn't find it. And if they would have found it, we could still be
Fighting it out to today. Well, to be honest with you, I think we're on the brink of Civil War as it is. So maybe they're just storing it for later.
Yeah, well, we might. But speaking of war,
Yeah.
we went to this German Christmas kind of thing that was going on, and we were sitting there looking at jam and stuff, and my girlfriend was getting really PO'd at this old lady that was...
Come on, we've already said the offensive part. She got pissed off.
She got pissed off at this old lady that was sitting there, had to try every little piece of jam that this place was offering, and I could see her in her face. She turned around at me and was like fuming. So she came over and stood in the grass with me, and she's sitting there and standing there, and she's like, "What the fuck?" She looked down, and her whole leg is covered in fire ants.
What?
Yes, fire ants.
Don't they hibernate or something? It's cold, isn't it?
It wasn't cold down there. It was 70 degrees down there.
Oh, yeah.
But now she's got all these not warts, I should say warts. Sorry, babe, not warts. She's got all these
Scabs
and it's like
because they
oozing
bite you,
stuff.
right?
Yeah, they bite you, and she's got a very allergic skin condition.
Yeah.
And so it's all pussy now.
Huh.
Pussy is that word?
Oh, maybe. It is now.
Whatever the plural of pus is. What is the plural pus?
Pusses?
Pussy?
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, it
hopefully,
sucks.
thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, it was about a few days ago when it gets worse every day. So.
Well, I hope she figures that out.
It was a good time, though.
Yeah, cool. All right, so a lot of times we get a kind of a quick topic in the beginning, if you've noticed, just something dumb. And sometimes we get it through Chat GPT, which, if you guys don't know what that is, it's like a computer AI thing.
It's for when we can't come up with the shit ourselves.
It's our creative outlet. Just
Yes.
letting the computer tell us what to talk about. They wanted us to open this one up with talking about a creative competitive sport.
Oh, boy.
The competitive sport they told us to talk about was extreme ironing while skydiving.
Ironing with skydiving.
Yeah, like ironing your clothes. I assume that's what they mean. So,
Okay. First of all, it sounds like an interesting idea.
yeah.
How are you going to plug the iron up? Or are we talking battery powered?
No, I'm thinking a generator goes out with you.
Generator or a very long extension cord to the airplane, right?
You're adding some complexity to this. Or maybe you just get a really hot iron before you go.
Really hot iron. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you've only got like 30 seconds before you get down to the ground, so maybe that's all you need. I don't know.
Well, that should be part 3 of the series. Is whoever hits the ground first wins. So that means
the faster the better.
The faster the better. So whoever releases their parachute the last gets to the ground first.
Yeah. So I'm liking it.
And you're judged on how well you ironed your shirt.
Can you guys figure out. I want some comments here. Tell us some crazy extreme sport that you guys can think of.
Make something up, man.
Yeah, I mean, you got like the underwater basket weaving and stuff. You know, I guess if you just add two modern things together, it could become extreme. But I want to see some comments down there. Give us your best extreme sport.
Man,
and the best one, we will. We haven't given a T-shirt out in a while.
Best one gets a T-shirt.
Best one gets a T-shirt.
Yeah.
So put them down there.
As long as it's female small or men's medium.
We have. I guess male sizes. I think we have medium, large, and extra large, right?
Yeah, I think we have 2X.
Hopefully, if you're in that size and you have an extreme sport, put it down there. And we're going to let this one go all the way to the end of December, so that there'll be plenty of time to be people to watch this.
Hey, that could be an extreme sport.
What's that?
4X man in a small shirt without ripping it.
It's actually a pretty good idea. Okay, so now it's time for the news. You ready for the news?
Let's go. Line Lock News with your anchor, Corey. There you are.
That's me. I'm Corey.
That's me.
Man, we have a lot of news. So the first one I wanted to talk about, this is a throwback. I don't know what episode it was, but it was a while ago. We talked about JJ the Boss doing his stupid stunt.
Oh, yes.
The guy riding on the back of his truck.
Yep.
It's a truck similar to mine. Well, the WDRA pulled their sanction from that racetrack, and we thought that was all a big deal or whatever, but there was rumblings about they were breaking up with them, but they didn't care because they already had something on the horizon.
Right.
Well, it just got released that the IHRA actually picked them up, and that was already in the plan anyway. So,
so
I
they
don't
don't
think
care.
they didn't care. It was like probably the last one or two events that was going on there anyway. So it was a publicity stunt.
Well, maybe they want to go out in a bang or a fatality.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But the IHRA has been with that track since the beginning, and just recently they went to the WDRA, from what I understand, and now it's coming back. So, it is what it is. So they're going to be International Hot Rod Association track in 2024.
I also heard that he got banned from that track himself.
That's possible. And maybe IHRA told him that that's how it's going to be. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But, I just wanted a little update on that.
Yeah.
The second one we got here is NHRA issues Pro Mod weight breaks to attract nostalgia-style bodies, which I thought this was kind of cool. They get a 75-pound weight break for having a body that's 59 and older. So you're talking the Willies. You're talking. Nobody's dumb enough to run a 53 Chevy pickup, but any of those larger body styles, you get a 75-pound weight break. And some of them, like I've seen, there's two of them already that I've seen running around. They're like the late 40s Willies cars, but man, they are so stretched out that they barely kind of look like it, but they still get that weight break. There is some intricacies to this because from 1960 to 2000, it's only a 50-pound weight break, and then certain vehicles only get a 30-pound weight break, like a 68 to 69 Chevelle. No, 68 to 72 Chevelles only get 30, and 68 to 69 Camaro only gets 15 pounds. I guess they were aerodynamic enough to try to make it even. I don't know.
You kind of wonder, really what is 15 pounds going to do?
A lot.
And depending on how fast they're going.
So we addressed this a while ago, and I actually had done some research after, and I never really got back to it. 100 pounds when you're going in Pro Mod fashion is 0.02 of a second in the eighth mile, roughly. So you're not talking a ton, but you're talking enough that it can definitely change the outcome of a race.
Yeah.
And if they get more of these crazy body styles in, it's going to be a more attractive thing to watch.
So do you know what the weight limits are? Is there a range? I wonder.
I think there's, you got your minimums, and then they add per your power adder, they'll add you some weight. They try to make parity by keeping all the weights the same. And that's the reason that none of these older body styles were winning or being competitive, because they're so aerodynamically
challenged.
Challenged is a great word. Yeah. So this will hopefully address that, and then we get to have some cooler cars in the
you think about a truck going down the strip at 150, 200 miles an hour.
They're going to have to give a truck like 1,000-pound weight break.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's going to be able to run anything that tall.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wind. But nonetheless, I thought that was cool. The next set of news here is this is not new news, but maybe you guys haven't heard of it because I hadn't. They call it the Superstar Shootout. It's in Bradenton Motorsports Park on February 8th and 10th of 2024.
That's down in Florida, right?
Florida, yeah. Bradenton. They have the payout's $1.3 million. Spread across the classes, but the top fuel and funny car both get $250,000 a piece to win.
Wow!
And the pro stock gets $125,000. Now I don't know exactly what they win at an actual NHRA event. I don't know what that compares to, but that sounds like a lot of money.
But I wonder what has to be distributed amongst their team and their sponsors and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not going to just the driver.
Yeah,
you know,
and those cars are not cheap to run anyways.
No, I mean, there's talks about it being something like $1,000 or $2,000 and just kind of wear and tear and parts just to go down the track. And then if you actually break something, you're tens and twenties of thousands.
Well, we were up in was it Michigan at Martin where they were doing the ride along drive.
Yeah, Larry Dixon,
the nitro car.
Yeah,
somebody had said 10,000 a pass to run that car.
So we actually have a contact that may know Larry, and we might be able to get him on here, and we can address all those because. That is, I heard two different ways. I heard it was 2,500, and I also heard 10,000 too.
Yeah.
So we don't know the real numbers on that, and I would love if somebody down there in the comments could. I don't want to put out.
You are fake news.
I don't want to put any fake news out there, so I don't know exactly what it costs. I don't want to put a big number out there, and then people avoid it because it's too much.
Yeah.
So let's address that in the future, but it is expensive, and it has to be.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
The fuel alone, a 55-gallon drum of that fuel is like, I think it's like $5,000 or something crazy.
Fake news? No.
Yeah.
You are fake news.
It's a lot. Whatever it is, it's a lot. We are actually going to have a guest on very soon that runs nitro.
Yeah.
And we'll actually ask him all those questions. If there's any question you guys want to know about a nitro team, put it down in the comments as well, because we got somebody coming up in the future.
We'll ask
gonna
him for
address
you.
it. Yeah, we'll ask him.
Yeah, I know that nitro car, the ride along one that we were just talking about. We saw it go down a couple times, and the second time it actually didn't blow up. Sorry,
Yeah. No, that was the first time.
Was it the first time we saw it?
So but that's one cool thing about the Larry Dixon stuff, and this is again.
You are fake news.
I heard on the street that if you don't get a full pass, they let you get another one.
Yes.
So
yes.
you're guaranteed to have a full pass at whatever given speed.
I guarantee that the person that was in that car with him, they made it halfway down the strip.
So it's a bonus run.
I mean, that dude was probably shitting the bricks already.
Yeah,
just for that little bit.
I couldn't even imagine. Just we're going to get into some records. This is what this podcast is going to be about. Is we call them micro records. I call them micro records anyway. But we actually have some timesheets and stuff we can address if we want to, if we have time. But yeah, it's your sub 1 second 60 foots, low nines, 9.9 something. You know, that's cooking, man. It's real cooking. All right, and the last one is we have another record breaking in the drag racing world. Another record break.
All right.
The fastest door slammer in the quarter mile just happened in Bradenton. It was they were testing for the Snowbirds race, which is just happened. It got rained out, which sucks. My favorite driver, Lyle Barnett, he was in it with a car. I can't remember off the name. Top of my head.
You got it out, man.
I was trying to just give me time, guys. I'll get it out there. But anyway, he was in the finals, and it got rained out, or semifinals, one of the two. I'm gonna have to hit that button again.
Man.
It's one of the two. But I was very disappointed. I want to see him go on and win that thing because he was cooking too. I think he listen to this. So the qualifying for that race was so Lyle Barnett. I think he qualified 8th or 9th with a 363 pass in the 8th. Something like that.
Wow.
And qualified 8th. It's wild. There was a lot of fast racing. Craig Sullivan was down there with, I think it's a Studebaker that he runs. I don't know. He's down there, and actually that weight break rule is hopefully going to help him next year. Maybe he'll be able to accomplish some win, put it in the dance floor, you know? But anyway, new door slammer record. What's cool about this is because normally those pro mods, they run 8th mile. So the chutes are made for 200 miles an hour, maybe 210, maybe 220. That's what those chutes are designed for. Well, as you can find out here in just a minute, he ran a 5:35 in the quarter at 272 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. Insane in a door car. So Stroud had to develop parachutes just to make this work because, you know, Bradenton's a really long track. I think they got like a 3/4 mile shutdown. So they got a lot of shutdown, but at 270 miles an hour, you may not actually pull the chutes or cross the starting line you're probably getting up to like 290 before that actually starts slowing you down. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of speed, man. Yeah. So anyway, that was Jose Gonzalez was the driver. and I think it was Mickey something twin turbo Pro Mod Camaro. This record that he broke has been standing since 2018, and it was 5.37. So he cut off quite a bit of time from that .02.
200s, yeah.
But here is the interesting part about it is a lot of people are claiming that it's not a record because it was done in testing.
Oh,
What do you think about that?
Oh,
If it's not done in competition, then it can't be a record.
Well, I guess my thing would be was the car legal?
Well, but that was the other thing. For one, they weren't even racing quarter mile. He just during testing, he decided to run it quarter mile to try to be the fastest door slammer.
Okay.
So in the quarter mile, but
I can see the controversy there.
So I don't know. There's a lot of people saying that it's not a record because it wasn't done. But here's the deal: like with Pro Mod, if you're in qualifying, your car has to meet weight, right? Mm-hmm. And if you break a record, then that you're already you're the fastest in that class for that, and that makes sense. But when you're in an outlaw, because this race was outlaw trim, they don't have to meet those requirements. So
I'm kind of on the fence of it's not allowed.
I don't know. I'm going to give it to my man Jose because 272 miles.
Oh, I must not taking what he did.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to say that it's a half record. I don't know. It's just 272 miles an hour, and then he opened the door to get out when he was done. Well, it's just wild.
Well, he got the record no matter what, but whether it's an official record.
That's the thing. Is it official?
I
there we go.
no.
I'm going to tell him. I'm going to say that it is a record, just not an official record.
Yes. Yes.
You're not writing it down in some book, I guess. So you just get the bragging rights because you have a ticket that shows it.
And so 2/100ths of a second off from this Mr. Muhammad's long-standing run.
That was 2018. Khalid Muhammad had 5.379.
Yeah.
Didn't say his mile an hour there, but
so I wonder, kind of going back to the parachute thing too. I meant to say earlier, how much do these cars weigh? You think?
My guess is around 2,800.
About 2,800. So they're going 275 miles an hour or so. And don't you think that if you hesitated on pulling that chute, that's a major time?
Yeah. So like most people in the Pro Mod on the NHRA side of things, I think they run quarter mile. They're pulling their chutes. No, I can't remember.
You are fake news.
There's a lot of fake news in this one.
I'm sorry. I can't. My mind's a little scrambled right now. We had some technical difficulties earlier, and I'm still a little upset about them. But nonetheless, they pull their chute at the mile an hour cone or just before, so that they blossom right at the finish line. Because some tracks don't have the long shutdowns like Bradenton does. So I mean, it's got to be scary.
By the time it slows you down, you're already past the finish line.
Absolutely. I think you're still accelerating past the finish line. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
By at least 10 or 20 mile an hour.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be right on your game if, something different happens in your progress, in your schedule of things to do, and you hesitate for even a half a second, and that thing comes out a half a second later, you could be down sand traps.
I tell you, on the opposite side of things, with my truck and pulling the chute, there's been times, because I shut my motor down as soon as I cross the traps, there's been times I'm like, shit, I ain't going to make the end of this thing.
Yeah, right. And you're only doing 150.
High 150s, and I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have pulled the chute. I'm over here trying to fire things back up. But nonetheless, that's kind of cool. And that leads us into our main topic today. We're going to talk records, and specifically, we're going to get down to the ones that I think are kind of funny or interesting. But let's just talk about what records mean, and that's what I was saying in this. Most records have to happen either qualifying or in actual competition, only because they can guarantee that your car meets that specification. Yeah. So those are easy because you have class records when you're running heads up. Index, like we do, we don't have records because we're not trying to go the fastest. We're just trying to meet a number. Mm-hmm. Any heads up race will have records. And you have Top Fuel, funny car, prostock bike, et cetera, right? Those guys actually, well, at least Top Fuel and Funny Car, there's a record out there that will never be beat because it was a full quarter mile. Now they don't run full quarter mile; they run 1,000 foot. So there's going to be 1,000 foot records and there are 1320 records. So those records are understandable, and they're broad because everybody knows exactly what they are. And there's also other records that get little less broad, but I think everybody can justify as records, is like an engine size or an engine type. That includes like diesels is a big thing right now. So there's records out there for engine type.
Well, we just talked about the one that was a 4-cylinder.
The 4-cylinder record.
Yeah.
That was couple weeks ago. We talked about the 4-cylinder record. So that's definitely a attainable understanding of a record, because that's the thing. That's one thing, right? Then you could also add power adders. So you have the nitrous speed record. You have the Pro Charger. You have the screw blower or roots blowers. You have those power adders. Those make sense too, because you have that on your vehicle, you've set a record. I get it. So we can all kind of agree on those. The next one, it starts to get a little more obscure. Tire size. Most of the time when you're in heads-up racing, you're trying to go the fastest, and then sometimes they'll dictate what tire size you are or tire type, because you have a lot of guys will run 28 10.5s for small tire racing. And then in our neck of the woods, at least, it used to be, they've changed it now, but it used to be 29.5 10.5 tire size slick that you could run. But all those Mustang guys got upset because they couldn't fit all that tire in that fender well. So they're like, well, we got to go to 28 10.5 because those guys are dominating it. So that's what it all went to. So tire size or radial tire type. There's records out there for radial racing, which again, it makes sense. You have that. It doesn't matter what you're running up front power adder, but that is your record, right? The next one is a little bit, I don't want to say it's broader, but suspension type. So you'll see a lot of guys out there that say, I'm the fastest, or there's one guy, but there's a lot of guys chasing it. I'm the fastest leaf spring car. So, that kind of makes sense too, because that's your limiting factor is the leaf spring. Okay, but still a little bit broad, getting a little bit, I don't know. This is where we start getting in the weeds a touch. Because again, if the goal of drag racing is to go the fastest, it just, when you put everything on there that is the fastest, and obviously a leaf spring, even with traction control bars to keep your axle wrap and stuff under control. But I get it. We get it. That's a one thing, right? That's okay. This is, you have a leaf spring, now you're the fastest one with a leaf spring. I get it. The next one is a broad vehicle type. So people say they're the fastest truck or the fastest door slammer, just like we talked about, and dragster or alter.
That one makes more sense.
Okay, so less broad for you.
Yes, I mean the tire size and suspension is way out there. Yeah, I could say.
See, I didn't even have those in micro records, which we're going to get to. So maybe we could slide those down, and we can we'll talk about those when we get down to the bottom. And then another very general one is brand specific, the fastest Ford or the fastest Chevy or Dodge.
And we kind of have that already. I mean, that's pretty.
But you can't go for the funny car, even though it says Dodge on there.
Yeah, it's not really
Dodge.
It's not really a Dodge, right?
So it's got to be a factory production Dodge.
Yeah.
But then where do you limit that? Because how much of the Dodge has to be left?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Are we doing steel roof and quarters?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, it's. So my claim to fame, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring it up because it's going to be the first micro record, just like my micro, not going to say it.
Puss eye.
I have the fastest 3100 Chevy truck, okay? I say I do. Somebody needs to prove me wrong, but I have to preference that. I have to convolute it down to the fastest all-steel 53 Chevy 3100 because there's faster ones that have fiberglass. And now I even have to convolute it just a little bit more because mine is all stock steel, so I don't have a chopped roof or nothing. It's just how you get one from the factory. I put a race car chassis in it. So that's kind of like my micro record until somebody can beat me or prove me wrong.
Well, then you got to go one step further and say the fastest all steel, non-chopped, red 3100 truck.
with 3 rust holes in the quarter panel.
Yes.
You could, as long as you just keep adding qualifiers, everybody is the fastest of something.
Yes.
With a guy named Chris driving a Nova.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you're Neil. Neil would be better.
Neil, yeah. All right, we'll do that. Because I think there is a Chris that races with us.
Yeah,
in a Nova, isn't he?
yes. So you already screwed there. Huh? But so you get to those micro records, and that was just an example.
Yeah.
The vehicle specific, so the Camaro or a Mustang, and I mainly mean the era or the generation of those. Like my truck's a 3100 Chevy, so that would be my generation of my micro record. Anyway, I just that's to me is a micro record, right? Because you've had to qualify it down enough to where somebody would have to purpose build something to beat you.
It's kind of like a participation award.
Damn near it.
Yeah, I mean, really, it is.
Yeah.
It's like I understand you work hard at what you do, but to say I'm the fastest, you know,
I say it mainly just for fun. I don't really think that it really matters. It's to me, it's a fast truck anyway, but it's certainly a micro record.
Yeah.
The next one is John Dock on YouTube has the fastest hydraulic roller lifter motor. So I mean that's pretty narrowed down. I don't know about that one. I mean I think it's cool that he did it, but how many people were chasing after it?
That's true. I mean, usually when you're to that level, you're not
going to run hydraulic rollers.
No.
But it goes back to you're not going to run a leaf spring either. So I could see where you were saying that kind of is a micro record in itself a little bit.
Yeah, you're just chasing something that no one else is chasing.
Exactly. So it's easier to beat. It's your micro record.
Yeah.
Stock bottom end is another one that I've seen running around.
That one I can understand to some degree, only because if you're going to go do that's pretty impressive to me.
Yeah, I mean, it probably takes a lot of effort.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot more impressive than a hydraulic roller.
Yeah.
I mean, but a stock bottom end, hey, those engines don't last very long.
I mean,
with that much power.
Yours is a stock bottom end, and we filled it with concrete, to just try to make it survive a little bit.
Well, that's a good one. Concrete block.
Yeah, we just spiked that a micro record.
355 and a half. Fastest one out there, baby.
Yeah, there you go. The next one is full interior. I've seen that. This is the fastest car with full interior. I've seen that, which is again,
who's going to judge that though?
I don't know. And how do you even police it?
Yes.
I guess is the issue. And what do you mean by full factory interior? Does that mean your glove box is intact? I mean, where do we draw the line?
Draw the line, yes. A lot of guys, they pull out their back seats and
for the roll cage.
Yeah.
Right?
So does that justify you still having a full interior?
You better have some holes in that seat for your bars to go through or something, or modify. But then it's not full interior because you've modified the interior. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's like a lot of these micro records are really difficult to police, and I think it's just for bragging rights. And I don't know. The next one is street car. And this one's a big one. It's like, what do you call a street car? Just because my truck is licensed and insured, my race truck, I don't consider it a street car. I mean, do you say is a street car without a roll cage? But then you can't go fast on an NHRA track because you need the roll cage. So it's just like, what is that? What would a street car be? I don't know.
I can understand a completely 100% stock from the factory.
Yeah,
that would be judgeable, but even then, people find a way around those.
Yeah,
rules.
And at least for that, there is classes out there for street cars. So it's similar to class racing, heads-up class racing. So maybe that's even more of a broad and not a micro record, because I guess if you could say, all right, your car has to do a 30-mile trip, come to the staging lanes, and then make a pass. If that is the rules dictated by street car, or you don't get to go back to your pits after every lap. You have to go back to the staging lanes.
Isn't that kind of like the drag and drive?
Drag and drive.
Yeah.
So maybe that
would be if you could drive it on the street for 100 miles or whatever, or from track to track, and not have any issues. That would be. I would consider that a.
What do you guys think? Street car. And then the last one I have here is a micro record is surface type. So like no prep or back half, front half racing, that type of stuff. A lot of those guys aren't even timed, but people will say I have the fastest backtrack car or something. And it's like, well, for one, I need to see a slip to prove it. I mean, or even those draggies can be confusing. Have you ever seen those draggies they gives you your times and stuff by GPS?
Yes.
I don't know. What do you guys think about these micro records? Do you have some that you think people say, put it down below. I want to hear more micro records. But that was kind of what we were wanting to talk about.
Yeah, there's some guys that we know that follow along those paths of they have the fastest this and all those.
I'm guilty
qualifiers.
of it. I'm guilty of it.
And it makes yourself feel good and stuff. And like I said, to me it just doesn't make much sense if there's nobody else
competing
for
against
it.
you. Yeah. You've made it so specific,
vague
that somebody would have to purpose built that or buy it from you so that now you own the fastest car.
Yes,
to even be beat. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, tell us what you think, because this is something that I've been wanting to address and to see see what everybody thinks about it. I personally, these micro records, I think some of them are fun. I don't know if I can justify them as actual records, but I don't know. It'd be interesting. So that was it. That was our main topic. It feels like we've said a bunch of stuff, but we don't actually have any answers.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel satisfied yet.
So we need you to satisfy us.
Please do. All right. So viewer mail.
Yeah, we can go viewer mail. So a couple episodes back, we had a gentleman by the name of Bruce Westfall.
That's it. Not West Wall.
Not West Wall. Westfall. And he had a great conversation. That was a great interview with him about how he's building his program up and getting back into race car racing top alcohol dragster. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Fast Eddie 560, he came out and he said, "Hey guys, just throwing it out there. I'm available. If Bruce still needs a driver for the front end dragster, hell, we can even put his motor in my altered. It's certified to 750 already."
And Bruce mentioned in there that he had a blown small block, I think, that he's ready to go into something. And there's a new racer this year with NDRL that he has a small block in his front engine dragster, and he ran 7.0, so it's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be an awful lot to ask of an altered, though. Jesus. It'd be a handful.
Yeah, absolutely would be. But I would love to see it, though.
Yeah, it'd be fun. We need to get somebody involved in that 750-7.0 class, man.
I think Fast Eddie's up for that game. Sounds like it.
I wish I would have raised my hand before him, because now I feel like I'm behind him to be able to get the opportunity to run this thing.
Yeah, no, you just keep on throwing more money at your truck. You get there.
Maybe a top fuel motor. Is there any rules against nitro in our class? I think there is, right? It's probably. I think it's methanol only.
How many door slammer nitro cars have you seen?
Well, I know of at least one in a drag and drive event.
Really?
Yeah, so he ran it on race gas somehow. He took the manifold off, or somehow he did it, and he switched it over to nitro. It was a little coupe, a green coupe.
No
You've
kidding.
probably seen it. I'll put a picture up here. I bet I can find one. It was a door slammer that had a nitro motor on the front of it. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's possible. I think for our rules, I think methanol is as crazy as you can get.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So we got another, actually, a couple emails from the same guy, and he emailed me, and I was having a hard time putting together how this all worked out. He just emailed me some pictures, and I'll throw them up behind us. But after about a day of looking at those emails and trying to figure out where this fell in, we had a gentleman named Hal Canode, and I only remember exactly where it dinged in on me. Was I re-listened to the Robbie's interview, which is two episodes back now, and he mentioned that Hal Canode made his car, his Rocket Man Robbie Friel's Crowder dragster. So I was like, oh, that's exactly what this is. So I told him, send me some information about this car that he had. It's I don't know what kind of yellow car he's got. It's like a little geezer gasser style car, fiberglass body. It's a Scott Hot Rod's body. It's behind me right now, I believe. where? Oh, it is.
It is. Anyway, so I said, send me some information about it. And he did. He sent me some info on the car, but he also sent me some information about his building of cars. Somebody made up a really nice write-up, and I'm going to have Chris summarize.
Yeah. So it says, Hal Canode has been interested in hot rods since he was 13. He's built some gassers in the 60s, man, and started building some serious race cars when he opened his own shop in the 70s. Man, this guy's been racing a long time.
Long time. Including
his first national event winning car in 1976. Canode is very proud of the fact that some of his cars are 30-plus years old and are still out there racing.
Yeah.
Hal is now in his 70s racing.
Still working 40 hours a week.
Man,
Yeah.
that's great. That can you imagine living that kind of life? You know, we got started late in life.
Yeah, we did.
And to be able to, from the very beginning, when you first be able to start driving cars, it was kind of like going back to Jackson Messamore, doing the junior dragsters when he was a teenager and working his way up. And, you know, he's got a long race career ahead of him if he sticks with it. And this Hal guy, man, he's been doing it for a long time. And we're hoping to have him on the show, aren't we?
Yes, that was going to be one point. First, let me address the car.
Okay.
It took me a second to pull up the thing. It's a Scott Rod's body. It has a supercharged Chrysler 392 Hemi, and the chassis and engine was built by Hal. And he started building it in 2013. I think I saw the article say, and I think he's racing it now. So I don't know how many years it took him to finish up his own project, but good on you. Looks like a badass little hot rod.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
I reached out and I said, man, would you be interested in doing some kind of interview? And I'm not sure if we're going to do it for the podcast or the Blood Brothers racing side of things. We may have to go. His shop isn't too terribly far from here. So we may just run up there and do one with him, or maybe we'll invite him down to our shop, you know, look at all our cool stuff back here.
Let him teach us a few things.
Wink, wink. But yeah, that'll be an interesting interview. Racing for that long, he's got to have some good stories.
Oh my gosh, he's got to. Yeah. So that's going to be exciting. Not only will we have him on, we've got some other guests that we are planning on bringing on.
Some pretty big names coming up, and then some other just YouTubers that I have been watching for years and really interested in just asking them some questions, and hopefully we can get them on here.
Yeah, and speaking of, you know, if you are a YouTuber too, you know, we're not going to shy away from you. So if you want to be on our podcast and you know cars, it doesn't have to be dragsters or anything. It could be
we need to find some people that are roundy round racers, or somebody that's some racing that we don't know of, because I think it would be interesting to have a conversation with those guys. So I've been reaching out to a lot of people, and if anybody has watching this that has some leads, that somebody that has the gift for gab, send them a link to us, or send us an email to a link to them, and let's try to get something worked out, because we enjoy having people on.
Yep. So linelockedpodcast@gmail.com is probably the best way to get a hold of us. That's our direct email. You can also go to the Blood Brothers Racing site on Facebook or YouTube. Yeah, YouTube, wherever
the thing that you're watching this on,
the thing you're watching right now, right? Yeah.
Even though we are on all podcasting platforms, so if you prefer to listen to us.
Yeah, actually, all of them, all the major ones like Apple and Spotify,
Google,
and, all we're on there. Just type in Line Locked and you can find us.
Yep.
If you are in your car and you just want to listen. Yep. Also, we've got Blood Brothers shirts for sale.
Yep.
We just got a new batch of these in for the Blood Brothers Racing team. What are we selling those for now?
Did we say 22 or 20?
Let's say 20.
$20.
You can get us on the Line Locked or the Blood Brothers site.
And just know we're losing money on this venture.
Yeah,
I'm never going to financially recover from this.
Never, ever.
So yeah, $20 for those. We only have medium in male size, medium, large, extra large.
I think we might have 2X, didn't we?
We may have got a couple. If you're really interested in one and you're not that size, we'll put you on a list on our next order, our next batch. We'll sell you one then, but we'll have you. You don't have to put any money in at that point. At any rate, if you're interested in buying a T-shirt, we got quite a few of them. Email us at linelockedpodcast@gmail.com, or comment down below and tell us we want a Line Locked T-shirt, which would be cool. Our little logo on a T-shirt.
And we were going to give a T-shirt away. What was that for again?
What did we?
The best sport.
Yeah, the best sport.
Yeah.
So I forgot about that.
Yeah. So we're going to give one away.
Whoever did the best sport. The T-shirt.
You have to comment below, though.
Yeah, so make sure you do that. Comment your best, your funniest, best extreme sport. The one that AI told us to do was ironing, skydiving,
ironing, or something. So what we'll do is if you guys put them in the comments, the next episode that we get, we'll put them all out there and let you all vote.
Yeah, we could try that.
Yeah,
worst case, the best comment, the best idea for an extreme sport. If we don't get people to vote, because that may be difficult for us to figure out how to do.
Maybe not. With our 10 viewers and all.
But at the end of the month, if worst case, we'll decide if we have to, or maybe we'll actually make a poll. I don't know. Somehow, somebody's going to get the coolest or free shirt, I should say. So, with that being said, you got anything else?
Nope. Let's hit that button, man.
All right, here we go.
Let's get out of here. All right, guys. We're going to do it on time this time. I am Chris,
And I'm Corey.
and we are
Line locked. That was closer.
Closer.
Still no time. Oh, we got to figure it out. All right.
right,
Love you
guys.
guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Buddy.